Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. It's the first TED Show of the new year, and I get to ring in the new year with a dear friend, an inspiration to many, including me, the one and only tiny giant, Jeff Steinberg is back with us. Hey Jeff, how are you doing? Happy New Year.
Hey, Ted, Happy New Year. I haven't seen you since last year.
Since last year. You have an amazing story. You are just full of life and light, I swear. And so it's always wonderful to be around you. I love following you and what you're doing. And today we're going to hear a little bit about your story, but I want to talk about an event you have coming up. It's this weekend, January 12th, and I'll let you give the details. And we'll make sure all of the details are below so that you guys can click on it and hopefully attend. So, Jeff, without further ado, tell them a little bit about you and your story.
Well, I was born August 18, 1951, and I was a thalidomide baby. Now, I don't know if you're aware of it, but thalidomide was a drug that came into the United States in 1948. It was given to women to help them to hold a pregnancy, specifically for spotting, for nervousness and nausea. It was referred colloquially as the morning sickness drug. And it was supposed to boost the mother's immune system and the baby's immune system to get them through to term. Well, what they didn't know back then was that the drug caused limb defects and deficiencies, everything from missing limbs to shortened limbs to missing appendages on limbs. And I was one of those babies that was born with no arms.
Wow.
Malformed legs. My legs were kind of scissored, crisscrossed, kind of like an Indian sits in a powwow. And I grew up in hospitals and homes for kids with disabilities, listening to family and friends tell me all the things I couldn't do, shouldn't do, or wouldn't do. So I did them.
You did them.
Yes, I did.
Right.
Yes,
You sure did.
Never say I can't until you try, because the difficult we do right away, the impossible takes a little longer. Yes. And that's what I did. I remember the first time my mother ever picked me up and held me. I was about 2.5 years old. And she paced the floor with me in her arms, back and forth, back and forth. And then she put me back in my bed where she found me at the hospital. She turned to my father, looked at him, stood as tall as her 4'8" frame would hold her, and said, "Irving, take me home. I'm ready to leave now."
Wow.
My relationship with my mom and dad was very strained and very difficult. I was the subject of a lot of conversations that never got aired. You know, I was that unspoken topic. And to be honest with you, regardless of what my father or mother told me I could or couldn't do, I wasn't real sure they believed it. For example, when I was 15 years old, I told my mom I was going to get a driver's license. And my mother looked at me and she said, "Jeffrey, you can't drive a car. You don't have any arms." I said, "Mom, there are people in government with no brains. What's your point?" And I've been going at it ever since. I had a 5-year-old that wanted to know why I didn't have any hands. I told him I used to bite my fingernails, and one day I went too far. He's in trauma therapy, but he's got great looking nails.
He's got great nails.
But when I was about 8.5 years old, I lived at home for about 9 months. But it got to be too hard for my mom and dad to take care, my mom specifically, to take care of me and 3 girls. It was the girls that were the problem. It's always the girls that are the problem. And so my dad would leave for work at like 6:30 in the morning, and he would come home from work at like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And it was pretty much on my mom. And so I was placed in a foster home for about 8 weeks, and then moved 63 miles away from home to a home for kids with disabilities called Good Shepherd in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And I thought my parents were punishing me. But what I didn't realize at the time was that they were doing me an enormous favor, an enormous service, because while I was living there, I met a couple who were Christians, and they were amazing believers, and they taught me that I, Jeff Steinberg, am fearfully and wonderfully made. God makes no mistakes.
Amen.
God makes no junk. And
Amen.
so at the age of 11 years old, in a camp meeting in South Central Pennsylvania, I gave my life to the Lord, and I attended church, and I went to Bible college for a year, and started a singing group. We were called the Total Victory Trio. There were 5 of us in the group. Obviously, math was not our strong suit. And so I traveled, and I appeared in 1972, on October 27th, 1972, on a TV program hosted by Dr. Jerry Falwell called The Old Time Gospel Hour. Mm-hmm. I sang a duet with Doug Oldham, and it launched a 52-plus year career as a singer and as a speaker and as a comedian, humorist, and an author. And I have a book called Masterpiece in Progress, which is my autobiography. And now I'm married, and we have children, and we have grandchildren, and we even have a great-granddaughter and a great-grandson on the way.
I mean, what a life you have lived. Everything that you say, the tone that you share it with could easily be sad, defeating, and yet you're built in a way where you obviously look on the bright side and are determined to do the things that you want to do in the way that you want to do them, with the people you want to do, in a manner you want to do it. And that is so powerful in general, but even more powerful given that you had a physical disability, or whatever we're calling it these days, a physical challenge. You still managed to do more than most people do in their lifetimes. And I just want to give you a huge kudos for that. Every time I think about your story, and occasionally when I'll see you come up on social media, I'll go check it out again and refresh. And I don't know how you don't leave listening to you or hearing you speak or whatever it is, you don't leave feeling positive and that you have I can do anything moment. And so kudos to you for that, my friend.
Well, I even pushed some boundaries, Ted. I got to tell you, in 2016, I was one of the years that I was nominated as a recipient of the Artist Music Guild Heritage Awards for Comedian of the Year.
Wow.
And the director, David Cook, came to me before the thing started and said, would you sing a song? Well, I've got this patriotic song that I do called This Land, and my best friend wrote it for me. And we'd just come off of a presidential election when Donald Trump was elected the first time. But he had told everybody, he said, if you get up on the stage, no politics. And I'm like, okay. So I was going to do this patriotic song, and they were looking for my backing track on my iPad, which I keep with me, and or on my iPhone. And so while they were looking, I thought, well, I'm going to have some fun with the audience. So I said, we've just got a brand new president, and what a president he is. And David, who was now by this time all the way at the opposite end of the room, swings around and starts wagging his index finger at me, shaking his head, saying, don't you dare, don't you dare. And I'm like, and I looked at him and I looked at the audience and I said, now it occurs to me that one of the issues in this campaign was the Second Amendment. Now David's walking toward me. Don't you dare, don't you dare. And I said, now let's be clear. I said, the Second Amendment guarantees the right to bear arms. I've been cheated.
I mean,
and the whole place went nuts. And he just threw his arms up in the air and said, oh, what the heck, and turned around and walked away.
That is amazing.
I don't do political correctness real well.
No, but that's all right. I mean, but that's a great way to frame it. I don't know how you can't laugh at that, especially when you're laughing along with it. It's humorous.
Well,
All
here's
right,
the
so
thing.
tell them about your show.
You can look in the mirror and you can do one of two things. You can either whine and complain and say, God, you got it wrong.
Right.
Or you can look at the mirror and say, you've made me special, uniquely different. I've got an opportunity to do something that nobody else gets to do.
Yes.
So what am I going to do with it?
Right.
I can see the masterpiece in my life. And that's been my message for years, that each of us is fearfully and wonderfully made, a masterpiece in progress. Sunday, I'm going to be at the community center of the Gulfstream Harbor Senior Adult Community at 4505 Old Goldenrod Road in Orlando, 32822, in case anybody wants a zip code. And it's Sunday evening, January 12th at 6 o'clock p.m. It's the most fun you can have and not be in church. It is part of the evening vespers that they usually do on a Sunday night. And this is my annual concert that I do to kick off my year. It gives me a chance to try out some new stuff. It gives me a chance to be with family and friends that enjoy my music and my humor and my ministry. And it gives me a chance to just basically launch the year. And so that's what I'm doing. Sunday evening, January 12th, 6 p.m. at Gulfstream Harbor Community Center, 4505 Old Goldenrod Road in Orlando, Florida, 32822. And if you need a phone call 901-754-JEFF. That's 901-754-5333.
I love that.
.com, or you can visit our website at tinygiant.com.
And Tiny Giant is scrolling across your screen there. You can go to tinygiant.com. Do people need to buy tickets?
There are no tickets will be sold. There will be a love offering that will be received, and for us, for the ministry. So bring your platinum card. we have CDs of my music for those of you who still listen to those things. We also have books available that will be at the concert, so that you can buy my book. The book is also available in Audible and in Kindle, and my music is available in all your major downloads, including Apple Music, and what's the other one? Google Music, Spotify, Google Music, Pandora, all the major downloads. I'm there. So, give us a try. Check us out. I would love to meet you. I have enjoyed every time I get to be on your show, Ted. And you've had some very interesting people, and I would love to meet some of those people.
I have had some. We've got an interesting year planned, I can tell you, even more. So I'm excited for this year. It's always a joy to have you on and to speak with you. You really do motivate me. You inspire me. And I know I'm not alone. And you can't help but feel great when you are leave you just feel good about yourself and great about yourself. And yes, we're all a masterpiece in progress, my friend.
That's right. Fearfully and wonderfully made.
Fearfully and wonderfully made. You all, I want you to go see Jeff January 12th. It's this Sunday at Gulfstream or Gulf Harbor.
Gulfstream Harbor.
Gulfstream Harbor. All of that information is below. You can find him at tinygiant.com. Or, of course, you can reach out to me and I will get you in touch with him. Jeff, what a pleasure, a joy. Truly, you are an inspiration.
And if you'd like to have me come and sing for your event or speak for your event or do humor or just plain inspire your audience, please contact us. Booking, BOOKING at tinygiant.com. Contact me or call me or visit my website or contact Ted. Okay?
I'll get you there. All right, my friend, you're a blessing.
Thank you, sir.
I pray God continues to bless you, and I am so thankful for all the blessings you give out. All right, guys, go see Jeff. Find him on social media. Go to tinygiant.com, but definitely go see him this Sunday, January 12th. We'll see you guys soon. Bye, everybody.